here.
It really is outside of, the fourth quarter. This is a major art selling time, guys. We're going to get into it here.
You and I naturally say that ahead of every single solitary sale, though. I mean, it should fundamentally be stated, okay? And I get this question all the time. Like, how many hours a week do I need to spend on my marketing, Patrick, to be successful? What does that number look like? What number of Instagram followers do I need to have? How many emails do I need to have on my list? And what are the best selling media types? If I just know what those are and I add those, I'll be successful. Or what are the price points that I need to hit? And underpinning all of those questions, okay? And congratulations, Tim. Can't wait to see you inside too. We got to get your site live immediately. But underpinning all of those questions, Nick, is a premise that there's some sort of mathematical marketing formula that is indicative of success, right? Like I take the number of emails that I have on my list times the number of Instagram followers I have times whatever, and that's going to give me my revenue potential. That doesn't work that way. Do you know what does, though? I can judge the success of an individual art and photography business with one caveat based on the number of sales that they run a year.
Yeah, exactly. And what I would say too, and let me say, Tim, what's going on? Welcome to the Art Storefronts family. Happy to have you. I would say too, Pat, that all you have to do is look at Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, right? There's a big sale every quarter.
Prime Day.
Yeah, there's really a big sale every month, right? But the biggest ones there's one big one every quarter. If an artist or a photographer is like, Nick, tell me about my business. Like, what am I doing right or what am I doing wrong? Or Nick and Patrick, let's say, right? You and I go back, we look at last year and we just look at those times of the year and it's either you are competent and you are doing the things that the most successful people are doing, okay, to sell 100K or more a year, or you're not. And it doesn't matter at that point what your niche is, what pages you have on your website. If you literally have like a landing page with a contact form and your art is good enough and you execute the marketing correctly, you will have people pulling the art out of you, right? That is so important to say. The marketing is more important than any website you'll ever have. Now, when you do the right marketing, then the website really matters because it's percentages at that point. You want to give your visitors a great experience, and you want to convert the maximum number of people into customers. That's the benefit of having a state-of-the-art, art selling website that, gives your audience the right perception of your brand, right? The right perceived value of what you're doing. That's where that stuff really matters. Your website is a robot that's working for you 24/7. That's giving people an impression about who you are, the quality of your brand, and all that type of stuff. And it's converting them into customers and it's upselling them. It's getting a higher average order value. That's what it's really doing. But outside of that, the marketing that you do is the outbound effort, right? That creates the traffic that comes into your website. It's the same thing as getting people to walk into your store, guys. Like if you had a retail gallery, getting people to your website is the equivalent of just getting people to walk into your store and then you want to close them, right? But just imagine during the holidays, if you're the one store, Pat, that isn't taking advantage of the sales. You're tone deaf. You're totally off the reservation. Everyone who knows in retail that these holidays, they're really just tricks. They're consumer tricks, Pat, done by businesses. Okay. Yep. It's no different than any other time of year. There just happens to be a time like Mother's Day where everybody is buying gifts and thinking about their moms and pulling out their wallets. And so smart business owners realized that they needed to insert themselves into this, right? And get the attention and make their product the gift, right? Whether it is a piece of art, a merchandise item that you sell, or a gift card to let your spouse, your wife or whatever decide what they want to buy. All of that works. All of it works. And so you have to execute on it. So going back to what you were saying, it's like the thing that you and I find all of the time, and like you guys can drop a comment on here. We have the playbooks for exactly how to execute perfectly at every one of these sales, right? And the Mother's Day one is happening tomorrow, is the first day that you should be starting your marketing for the whole Mother's Day push to squeeze the lemon and get all the revenue that you can out of it. Because Mother's Day is actually at the beginning of May, right? So guys, think about this, right? Many of you are probably sitting there going, Mother's Day is the beginning of May. Like that's like 5 weeks away, right? And it's like, yeah, but did you know that in order to properly execute a great marketing strategy and to get the sales that people get that sell over $100,000 a year, you need to start next week on your marketing? Next week. Every week you wait, continues to, your dollar revenue is going to go down. Your execution is going to go down, right? You have to know that because you can't just run in the last week and be like, hey, I'm running a sale, buy from me, right? You got to warm people up. You got to give them gift ideas. There's a whole strategy, like Pat calls it trade craft, okay? It's very, very important. You know, you got to run the trade craft and get all of that stuff done. So it's so important right now. And that's where, you know, we should say, for those of you who didn't know, Art Storefronts is ending a big sale to join Art Storefronts today, guys, so that you can execute on Mother's Day and have all the strategy, 100% exactly what you need to do for every single day throughout all of April and up to Mother's Day, so you can have the best Mother's Day execution, so you can start executing like those who are selling $100,000, $200,000 a year. It's not that hard. You know, you've got it right there. What are you going to do with it? But you've got to be doing these things. That's the thing that I always come back to, Pat, right? It's like, you know, people are like, I can't figure out my business. I've been doing this for 10 years. Are you executing on all of the big art selling holidays when people are pulling out their wallets? Are you doing everything you need to do on those holidays when people are pulling out your wallets? If the answer is no, I don't know what to say, because it's like self-sabotage.
Yeah, I mean, you lose the forest through the trees when you start talking about digital marketing and sending emails and social media posts,
so true,
Facebook ads and live art shows. When you just take it back to reality, you're just a store. You're just a store. And if you don't run a sale on the major holidays, you're closing the doors. That's it.
That's right.
You're closing the doors. Why would you close the doors? What business do you know that's successful with the doors closed? I don't know of any. They're called out of business, right?
Exactly.
They're called for lease, for rent. And everybody loves to push back like, well, you know, my art doesn't really dovetail with Mother's Day. I don't really have a Mother's Day inspired theme. Does not matter in the slightest. Okay. It can help a little bit if your jam is painting flowers and it's coming up for Mother's Day. But the reality is, it's like sharks when you try to bring sharks up to the surface. When all of the retailers in the United States, you know, are getting everybody whipped into a frenzy for a special event, the credit cards are out. People are in buying intent, and there you just stand a much higher chance at making a conversion, making a sale, at getting someone's attention than you would the rest of the times of the year. And, you know, not for nothing, but we've been doing this for 8 years now, which means like, one, advising artists what to do and photographers what to do on the big selling holidays, but then two, designing the entire step-by-step, do this, here's when you do this, here's when you announce this, here's when you announce this. And nothing changes year after year, meaning sales continue to go up. It continues to be a solid sales opportunity. It doesn't matter what the subject matter material is. And then you go right into the next one, and it doesn't change.
Yeah.
And it doesn't change for retailers. And by the way, you know, Mother's Day was invented in 1907, right? It became a national holiday in 1914. The president did that. And then it sort of just blipped along. And then you know what happened? The florists got smart. And they got together. And they all got
So
on a
true.
phone call, and they're like, hey, this is our holiday now. We're going to make this our holiday, and we're going to start executing on it, right? So why I bring that up, and I didn't know that, by the way, I Googled it. I didn't know off the top of my head. That's been there since the 1915, right? Like, it's not going to change. It's not going away in 2050. It is going to continue to come up every single solitary year. And everyone's like, you know, thinks their business is so unique, or thinks their niche selection is so unique, thinks the rules don't apply to you. This is simple maths. There's There's nothing complicated about this.
No,
you're a store in the mall. Open your doors.
Pat, we have what, 7,000 artists and photographers that are members building their businesses now. 7,000. Can we honestly say is not the biggest problem that everybody gets the simplest things wrong? The simplest things that's so, whoever's listening to this, you're thinking in your mind, like, probably like there's this all this crazy sophisticated stuff that only deep marketers really know that you're getting wrong. No, you're getting the simplest things wrong. And I would probably, Pat and I would bet, $1,000 per artist on every artist that's the case. And 99 out of 100 times we would win. Actually, maybe more than that. Maybe more than that.
You just have the doors closed.
Yeah, the doors. I mean, it's just self-inflicted wounds on the simplest, most fundamental things. When you say them, it sounds crazy, right? But with all the talking heads that are out there that drive us crazy, right? That don't know what they're doing, or have been leading artists astray for the last century, right? It's like you hear things like, don't ever put your artwork on sale, right? And don't ever do this, or don't ever do that, or you should only have one niche, all these different things. And people start getting into the weeds, and they can't see the most simplest thing, which is like, are you just executing on the holidays every single time to perfection, right? When people are pulling out their wallets? Or are you actually on the sidelines, phoning it in, not putting in the effort, not doing things that are known to work, and letting all that demand get pulled out of the market? Everybody who needs a piece of art goes and buys one, and then you're left there after the fact going, hey, buy something from me. And everybody who was smart got all the sales, right? Because their stores were open. And then you're wondering why it's so hard to convert somebody after the fact. We just told you why.
It's funny. So someone on Instagram says it's especially confusing for self-taught artists. It's especially confusing for all artists. It's especially confusing for all photographers, because you guys were never taught this stuff, right? There was no course in art school. There was no course in photography class that, oh, by the way, we are a holiday-driven society. It's been this way for centuries, and it's not going to change any point in time soon. And one of the things that I love talking about more than anything else, it's like everyone loves to get bogged down in the details. You're different, you tell yourself. I'm an artist doing such and such. I'm a photographer shooting such and such. These rules don't apply to me. This is a simple math, okay? You are an online and offline e-commerce retailer at the end of the day, okay? And there are times when it is more advantageous for you to sell than not. And those times are when you're on sale, when there is a good reason and excuse for sale. And one of the things that I love to explain it, you solo entrepreneur, one-to-one sales, small shop. Okay, let's go all the way very to top. Let's go to the biggest retailer in the United States, right? Amazon. Okay, maybe Walmart's bigger. I don't know. Amazon's got to be bigger. Anyway, all the executives are sitting around at Amazon and they're going, we poured through the data, fellas. We poured through the data, ladies and gentlemen. You know what we found? When we have big sales, we have the biggest year of the world. And then someone in the crowd was going, yeah, Jeff, we're already having sales on all the biggest sales days. And then he sat there and he goes, I know what we'll do. We'll invent a holiday then. We'll just invent a holiday. And so Amazon invented a holiday called Prime Day. And now it's one of the biggest e-commerce sales days in the entire United States. And they invented it out of thin air. So my point in all of this is it's just maths. When the big holidays are coming up, you have a sale. That's it. This is just maths. I don't care what your subject matter material is. I don't care if you're just getting started. I don't care if you've been at it for 15 years. I don't care if you're deluding yourself and thinking, I don't run sales, it cheapens my work. You are lying and BSing yourself. Someone needs to tell you, you haven't learned it anywhere else. Fact. Okay, it is just a fact, and it has been this way for the last century. It is going to be this way for the next century until anything changes. The sooner you take this little red pill and realize it's just math. I don't care what you're selling. Human beings as a species need incentives to take action. A fantastic incentive to take action is a sale. It has a discount and it has scarcity. It's just maths. It applies to you whether you think it does or not. We could rant about this all day, but
Oh, we could, but it's that simple, and we're in it's perfect context for right now because as I was saying, guys, if you want to like the biggest impact that you can have on your art business over the next 30 days to 45 days is executing on Mother's Day to perfection, right?
Yep.
That's it. There's nothing else to do. There is nothing else to do. Move everything else out of the way and execute Mother's Day to perfection. Okay. So, anyways, we should say that if you're interested in learning more about art storefronts, to run Mother's Day, to have the Mother's Day playbook, and to get in to our coaching, and all of that for your marketing, today is the day, right? We've got a sale ending specifically for people who want to execute on Mother's Day, and it's ending today. So if you're interested, request a demo. Go to our website. If you just click to our profile or in the post, you'll see a link. Click the button to request a demo on our website, and then somebody will reach out to you, when they can today. Today is going to be very busy because there's a lot of people that are going to be signing up. So try to get it in quickly. And then you can see what everything is all about, the pricing, see if it's a good fit for you. If you're not sure yet, don't worry about it. Just request a demo and our team will talk to you. No pressure at all. See if it's a good fit. And if it is, then we will help you have the best Mother's Day that you've ever had. And then that will lead into Father's Day, which is literally right after that, Pat. The second Mother's Day ends, the second you get right into the Father's Day execution. And it's the same thing, another 45 days, right?
Yep.
And then you have some summer sales like Prime Day, some different things, Memorial Day, some different things that can get sprinkled in there.
4th of July. 4th of July.
Yeah, 4th of July. Sorry, that's what I meant. And then Labor Day, and then you get into the fourth quarter. And so it's boom, 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 boom. It's stacked for the rest of the year. So it's like, this is the time to just start going, right? Like, and you'll end the year at a crescendo. And I think that's a great point.
Yep.
But there's no better time than the present. There just isn't. Mother's Day right around the corner. Mother's Day is a big one. Valentine's Day is a big one. Mother's Day is a bigger one, So this is a great one. I wish the dads got more love, Pat, on Father's Day.
No,
Father's Day is a good one too. Don't get me wrong, but Mother's Day is just a little bit better. Yeah.
Much bigger. And by the way, we're eating our own dog food. Why are we having a sale?
Exactly.
I don't know. You think we're any different than you guys? Turns out, no.
We're not.
No.
Exactly.
We got links in the description. We got links in the bio. If they want to find out more, they can do so. I think over the coming days and weeks, we're going to continue to pound the drum on this one. I mean, the sale starts essentially in a week. A little bit less than that. We have all of our members starting to do their prep right now. Get everything ready for the sale. Have the whole entire thing calendared out. When do you tease it? What do you announce it? When do you send it to your collectors first so they get first crack at it? What do you do before, during, and after? How do you wrap it up? How do you extend it? All the basics. And it doesn't change all that much from year to year to year. We get a little bit more advanced. We add a little bit more trickery, but the fundamental, the core, the principle, it just doesn't change.
Yeah, and I want to read a comment from Clyde. He's an Art Storefronts member on Facebook. It says, "I became a member more than 5 years ago. My art sold before it was completed. I've never taken full advantage of the holiday sales. You've got me pumped up. I'll follow your advice and work on it." Yes, Clyde, please. So we even have members that are, and they'll admit it, right? I know a couple of members that are like, yeah, I don't do everything for the holiday sales. And you and I are pulling out our hair like, what do we need to do? And I'll tell you what we did, you guys. A year ago, it's like a year and a half now, we started an in-house marketing agency. We call it Client Services, right? Where we do the work for you. Because it's like, we're so frustrated with people not doing it that we've been trying to offer it as a service for people who just don't have the time or don't want to do it. And we've been getting better and better at it. And now, so Clyde, you should hear this, and any other Art Storefronts members, because it's you can't buy this unless you're an Art Storefronts member. But we will do the holiday sale for you. Run the whole thing. I think it's like 10 emails and like 12 to 15 social media posts, Pat, over a 4-week period, or 5-week period. It's a lot of work. We do it for $199. That's it, right?
Yep.
It's for $199. We'll do the whole thing, and we'll do it perfectly. Our team will do it perfectly for you. So right now we've got a waiting list of like 40 people. So I don't even know that that we'll be able to do Mother's Day for you. I would get on. We're trying to create room, but either way, the waiting list is actually for anyone that's just trying to get on this for the next sale, which is like the next quarter is Father's Day. And then there's obviously the fourth quarter. And so it's $199 per sale, like we're basically per quarter. And if you want to do the monthly, we can do it once a month for all of the sales that are happening, because there's basically one big one every month, right? But at the very least, if you can't do it, let us do it for you. I think that's so huge, Pat. Like, it's just, you can't leave that money on the table. And so one way or the other, maybe you do some of them you do yourself to save some money. The other ones, let us do it for you. We're not trying to do it to make some huge profit. We're trying to do it for customer success. For people to make, you know what I mean, to be successful on using our storefronts. Like, that's our whole mantra, is we're here to make you successful, not just sell you a website, right? Like, websites are a dime a dozen. Obviously, we have hundreds more features than anyone out there, but the differentiator is marketing. That's it. If you don't have the marketing, you could have the Ferrari website and nothing will change in your business, And so the marketing's got to get done. Either you have to do it or somebody has to do it for you.
That's right. And Clyde, it's a no-brainer for you because you're not going to do it otherwise. You're not going to.
Exactly. Just let us do it. Let us do it.
Clyde is not like he's not in a normal situation. What he alluded to in his other comment is he 100% of his work sells before he even finishes it, right? Before he even finishes it, it's sold. So the issue we have with you, Clyde, first of all, congratulations. Okay. Firstworldproblems.com for Clyde. We have to figure
Champagne problems.
Yeah. Champagne problems. We have to figure out some additional inventory that you can sell. It's going to have to be prints, right? And you still have to capitalize on it, because even in your situation, and this is another thing that infuriates me, and I'm sorry to go on my own personal rant, like the guys at your stage, Clyde, are the most guilty for leaving money on the table. And it infuriates me. Nick, to a lesser extent, because you've been grinding at this for years and years. You have traction. Everybody loves your work and wants it immediately. You sell everything. And so society, your brain, your peers wire your brain to say, like, you're doing great. And then Nick and I are looking at the numbers and going, Clyde, you are doing great, but we don't want a $250,000 a year business. We want a $500,000 a year business. And then after that, we want $1 million a year business. And in the rules, the holes in people's marketing operation in some ways get bigger the higher up the chain that they go. You know what I mean? It's like one of those like weird, I don't know what's.
I get it, because it gets harder because like the business is actually working. You have traction, which is creating work, right? Mm-hmm. It creates different types of admin work and different things like that. And that part is hard for an artist to adjust to as well. Like, things are working. I've got all this other stuff. Where do I spend my time? Where do I prioritize? Right. And obviously we're trying to help with that as much as we can. Yes, Clyde, you can still do it. It's not too late. Get on the list.
He's done. I just put him on the list. You're on the list, Clyde. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Perfect. There you go.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's leave it there.
Yep. Mother's Day is coming. You're going to continue to hear more of it. Get it on your mind.
That's your focus, guys. Yep. That's your focus. Starting tomorrow, your marketing should begin for Mother's Day, right? That's your next 45 days. That's the only thing you should work on for your art business.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Until next time.
All right. Thanks. We'll save them. Bye.